and we're so blessed to have Gillian Garcia with us. Gillian is a first-year MDiv student from Manila, Philippines. She co-pastored a small local church in Manila with her husband and is currently working as a content editor for a tech company. Gillian discovered her love for food and culture at age 13 when she started learning how to cook Filipino cuisine and curiously asked about the origins of certain dishes. Gillian is also passionate about social justice and peace building and believes that the dining table enables people to humanize each other. So Gillian is going to be cooking chicken adobo for us, which is a traditional Filipino dish. And I would just ask her to say hello and anything else she wants to say as we get started.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Laura. I just want to thank everyone for joining in. And it's my honor to share the Filipino culture, Filipino cuisine to you. So I'm sharing our family's recipe of adobo. There's not one way to prepare adobo. I know there's multiple ways of preparing chicken adobo. And I think adobo is very universal among Filipinos, and it's a dish that even our Filipino Muslims can eat because it's halal. And that's why I think it should be the national dish of the Philippines, although the government hasn't announced any Filipino national dish yet. But yeah, I'm so excited to share with you our culture through our food. I also want to thank Petsiva and the Filipino community for joining in. I'm sure we'll have fun with over the Q&A when we talk about stories around food in the Philippines or or how it's like to have Filipino food in the diaspora. I know it's quite different, but it's still special. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Gillian Garcia from the Philippines, and today I'll show you how to make chicken adobo. Chicken adobo is the unofficial Filipino national dish. There are actually two versions of the origin of adobo. First is that it was introduced to us by the Spaniards, which explains the name adobo from the Spanish word adobar, which means to marinate. The second version is that it's actually an indigenous dish known throughout pre-colonial Philippines. They say that our ancestors have been curing meat using salt, black pepper, garlic, and vinegar. And I believe the second version. But anyway, there are various of ways how to prepare adobo, and it's enjoyed by many Filipino families. Today, this recipe that I'll share is from my family with my own twist. So let's go through our ingredients. First is 1 kilo of chicken, bone-in chicken. And then the most important ingredient, we have garlic minced. This is about 8 cloves of garlic. A tablespoon of salt. 2 teaspoons of black pepper. 4 pieces of bay leaves. We also have, this is my twist, lemon wedge, and 1 whole hot chili pepper chopped. Another important ingredient, white vinegar, about a cup of white vinegar and a 1/4 cup of dark soy. You can get dark soy in any Asian stores or a Filipino store near you. And also a cup of water and some cooking. So we'll begin by preparing the marinade of the chicken. Add in a tablespoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of pepper, vinegar. And a quarter cup of soy. 2 bay leaves. And then your garlic, but save about a tablespoon of garlic. And then just mix them all together. And then just cover your marinade and refrigerate for about 20 to 30 minutes before you start cooking. After marinating your chicken in the fridge, preheat your pot. Then add about just a tablespoon of olive oil or any cooking oil. Then once your pot is ready, the oil is hot, add in your reserved tablespoon of minced garlic. And just let the garlic fry and get crispy. You want to get the golden brown garlic color. So go ahead and stir and make sure you don't get burnt garlic. And just scoop it all out and then put it aside. You can serve that after. Oh, look at her. Oops. Then add in you want to add in all the garlic from your marinade. So you can just put aside this marinade sauce and use it for later. Okay. Now add in your cup of water. Add in your 2 extra bay leaves, and then just put it on medium heat and let it cook for 25 to 30 minutes. And stir in your adobo every now and then. Just make sure that it doesn't stick to the pot and that all ingredients are being incorporated well. Once your chicken has already started to darken, you can add in your hot chili peppers. This is optional, just if you want to have a little spice in your dish. Go ahead, add that, and then stir. And keep it cooking. Once your adobo is starting to produce its sauce or liquid, you can go ahead and add in the rest of the marinade. I get the pepper in. Stir. And then cover again, keep it for about 10 or 15 more minutes. So I think we're ready, we're done. We've cooked this adobo for about 35 minutes in low heat, and it's ready. So go ahead and serve. Oh yeah, final step, squeeze of lemon. This one, see this, and then give it a final stir. Scoop it in. So adobo is pretty like really dark brown, almost black. It's a color that you're looking for. My family's version of adobo is a little dry. So we have add in a little bit of sauce. If you want it to have more sauce, just add more water. And then of course, our fried garlic from earlier, just add it, put it on top. There we go. Adobo, of course, is best served with hot steamed rice. So just add here some stuffed chicken. Add in some sauce on my rice. There we go. Look at that. That's Filipino comfort dish right here. Give it a try. Yep. Family's adobo with my own twist. So thank you for watching. Adobo is easy to make. Thank you.
Woo. Thank you so much, Gillian. That was amazing. I think all of us probably want to just be able to taste it now that we've seen you cook it because it looks so good. But I'm wondering, we're going to open it up for Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to jump in. I'm going to kick us off and I know, Gillian, you said that you really enjoyed learning about the origins of different dishes when you were growing up. And I wonder if you could share with us a little bit about the origin of this dish.
So, so my dad is like a history nerd. I always ask him about origins of whatever, especially food. And he said, well, at first he said that it was introduced to us by the Spaniards. And then later on he took that back, saying, actually, I think it's pretty indigenous. It's pre-colonial. Because in other parts of the Philippines, they've already been curing meat through garlic and vinegar. And there are also recent research finding evidence that our ancestors have been curing meat that way. And the ingredients are pretty evident. Soy, it's vinegar, and garlic. It's pretty local in the region. And also in our region, in my father's region in Ilocos, it's up north in the Philippines, they've been curing adobo meat in clay jars. And I think that's another evidence that it's pretty pre-colonial.
That is amazing. Thanks so much for sharing that with us. Does anyone else have a question they'd like to ask?
I do. I'm curious because I mean that just looks amazing by itself, but I'm curious too, like what some of your favorite like side dishes are to put with it, or if you just like have it by itself.
Yeah. So, hi Austin. Adobo or any Filipino dish, they're good with rice. Like we always eat it with rice, steamed rice. We also have, sometimes we put potatoes in our adobo. I know others would deep fry their potatoes with like pots on the side, so they eat that with rice.
That sounds
Yeah.
delicious.
Bernard is here. What do you like eating with your adobo? Or my adobo? By the way, Bernard is my husband.
Hi, everyone. With eggs. I like eating with eggs.
Oh yeah.
So black rice, adobo with boiled eggs.
Yeah, so this is a joke. Filipino breakfast is basically what you ate for lunch or dinner from yesterday, and then just add egg and rice. That's your breakfast. Is that true, Hatita?
Yes, right. Leftover. That's why we cook a lot the night before, so that then we have something for breakfast.
Just add egg.
Yeah, add egg.
I love it. Do you have any other like special memories of that dish in particular growing up, or?
Yeah, adobo is actually, I think, one of the first dishes, Filipino dishes that I learned to cook. I was 13, and my parents wanted me to learn how to cook for survival, they said. And yeah, like I can't be dependent on them or preparing our food. So my dad showed me how they prepared their adobo. Also have an auntie that showed me how she prepared her own adobo. It is so different until I finally came up with my own style of making adobo and how I liked it. I like it a little bit spicy, so I added chili. And it's also like what I said in the video, it's a comfort dish. After every time we'd go on vacation abroad. Say we've been in the US for a month and then we come back, I always crave for chicken adobo just to like reorient myself that I'm back at home. Or when also in the US when I'm with family, I always try to make chicken adobo just to reorient myself, even if I'm not at home, just to feel like I'm home, because yeah, it's just a comfort dish and it's really close to home.
Yeah, thanks so much for sharing that. That's so important to have those dishes that do remind us of home for sure. Does anyone else have a question? Oh, go ahead, Hepzibah.
Have you tried cooking pork adobo?
Oh yes. So yeah, sorry for I didn't share this, but you can make adobo with chicken, pork, even beef. But it just takes longer to cook adobo if you're using pork or beef. But yeah, I think one of my favorites is mixing chicken and pork adobo, and it's just different with the fat flavor profile just adds a different better taste to the adobo, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Bernard is putting a thumbs up because that's his favorite too.
Pork adobo?
Yes.
Yes.
And I just wanted to comment, you mentioned that, you were taught to cook for survival. And as a recipient of your cooking, it's definitely helped me survive.
Yeah, and I have to say, you're a grown man, you should learn how to cook too.
Did you hear that, Bernard?
I can cook.
I know you grew up in the States, but Filipino men here cook.
Yep.
Are there any dishes that you like to cook together?
Salmon eggs. That's very Filipino American. There's one dish that you can cook, right, Bernard?
Yes. I can cook gourmet spam and eggs.
Don't forget the Kraft macaroni and cheese too. It's always a go-to.
Absolutely. Yeah. See, I can cook.
Yeah, boiled egg too, you know?
Does anyone else have a question they'd like to ask?
Do you ever add sugar to your adobo recipes? Because I've had it kind of sweet before.
Oh yeah. So it actually depends on who you're preparing your adobo for. I know my sister wants her with more soup or more watery and sweet, and I just omit the chili part of my adobo. Yeah, there are Filipinos who really like their adobo salt and salty and sweet and a bit sour. So it just really depends on how you like it, how it should taste. Depends on your flavor profile.
Thanks.
So Gillian,
And I also know that, sorry, I just want to add, others add in sugar to correct their adobo if it's too salty or too sour. It's just about balance it out.
that's a good tip.
Yeah, it's a good hack.
Yeah.
I am actually making it with you right now.
Awesome. Are you?
You went really fast in the videos. I prepared the marinade. I marinated it before we started here, but I was wondering, should the liquid be over the chicken entirely from the beginning, or
Yeah. So you have to wait it to reduce for about if you're making a smaller portion, that should be good in 15 minutes. It will reduce 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
That's awesome. You're making adobo now.
That is so impressive, David. I'm just really impressed that you're making it at the same time.
No, it's Jillian's directions and her leading me through it.
Wow.
I am also curious what your favorite chicken adobo has been, like your whole life. What's like your favorite, whether it's family or like somewhere you've gone to eat, or if it's your own. I won't ask you the question, Bernard, because I feel like you can only say Jillian's, but
Trying to remember if there's a restaurant that made really good adobo. That's hard. Because but I do remember any restaurant with good adobo.
Not really. I just commented. Honestly, the best I've had is your adobo.
Wow, right answer.
Thank you for
I'm
your
not
bias.
lying.
I think my aunt makes pretty good adobo. She introduced to me adding hard-boiled eggs into your adobo. Yeah, like a whole, peel it off, put it in your adobo when it's almost done simmering. And her adobo is also dry. I like it when the adobo is quite dry. Yeah. You may want to try that.
When you say dry, you mean like reduce down a lot or something different?
Yeah, reduce. Yeah.
Okay. I'll try to go for that. Sounds good.
David, I'm curious if you're using a Filipino soy sauce.
I do not have Filipino soy sauce, unfortunately.
Do you have the Japanese one?
I have rather bland kikkoman. I have the bottle here. This one. That's the available in a lot of
Oh
US,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
I'm sure it's not the best.
I know, but my family in the U.S. and Bernard's mom and mother-in-law also use that soy sauce. It's pretty good. You from what if that's my only choice in the U.S. when making adobo, I just added more portion of that because the Filipino soy sauce is really strong in flavor. That's why they call it the dark soy.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
but that's good.
it's more-
Kikoman is good.
Silver Swan soy sauce.
Silver Swan or Dato Puti.
Dato puti. Can you use any type of pot, or should you the thin one, thick one, like the
Yeah, casserole.
Okay.
Yeah, we just use a casserole. If you have that, what's that fancy, like, I think it's like called Le Creuset. I think that's like the best casserole that you can use.
Oh, expensive one.
Expensive, yeah.
Well, if you eat cheap adobo, you can save some money to buy that expensive pot.
I think Bernard, we need to invest in that pot for your survival.
Those are great questions. Is there anyone else that has a question they'd like to ask? Could also be just about the Filipino culture or anything else. Doesn't necessarily have to be about the dish per se.
Julian, I loved in your bio how you mentioned the ability of the table to humanize one another. Could you speak more on that and maybe some ways that you would encourage us to incorporate that kind of practice to humanize each other and talk about really cross some cultural and social boundaries that normally keeps apart?
Yeah, great question. So I noticed, even as a little girl, I noticed the power of the dining table, how it just brings people together, how food helps us to relax, open up, and it brings us a sense of joy if we're sharing certain dish or a meal with other people. And in my experience, so my parents are involved in cross-cultural work. My dad has worked for doing peace agreements through the office of the president, and his work concentrates in Mindanao. Mindanao is the southernmost part of the Philippines, where we have it's dominantly Muslim population. And he was sharing with me that the Datu is like a tribe leader in Moro or Muslim Philippines. He realized that he is welcomed by the tribe and the Datu when they invited him to have a meal with them, and that they were able to work and they were able to converse, they were able to negotiate some of the conflicts happening in Mindanao just because they were sharing a meal together. So yeah, I think food has the power to, so we can just set up our differences. The table has the power to give us a sense of comfort, and that we learn to humanize each other because we're sharing a meal, we're sharing, I guess, a bond through food. And yeah, I guess that's why I'm really passionate about food and culture. Yeah. And just a background with Muslim Mindanao, there's just a lot of conflict in that region in the Philippines. And I think what my dad shared with me, how they were able to settle an agreement through a meal was just really powerful, and it stuck with me until this day that I think we can do ministry through food. We can pursue peace building through food.
Thank you for speaking more on that.
Yeah, thank you for your question, David.
Anyone else?
I haven't cooked my adobo the way you did it, so I'll try it next time.
How do you, what's your family adobo recipe like?
I think my siblings that are in Manila, they do the same way you do. But for me, I just put everything in the pot and let the pot cook it, and that's it.
That's also a good way.
Yeah, if it's cooked, then all right, ready to eat. But I'll try your recipe next time. Tastes good. And I like it spicy too, so I'll try that.
Great. Can you get the chili labuyo in the US, in California?
Yeah, I think so. Just go to the Filipino store. There's a small store in the corner here, Sari Sari store.
Oh, no.
sorry store. Yeah, I think I can find it. Or, some Asian stores, but we'll try.
Well, thank you so much, Gillian. Thank you again. It was so wonderful to learn more about how to cook chicken adobo and to learn more about you as well. So thank you so much for sharing with us. And yeah, is there anything you want to say as we end our time together?
Just thank you everyone for joining. I hope you try making your own chicken adobo. It's very easy to make. That could be a new family favorite for you guys. Also, if you get a chance, support Filipino small businesses, Filipino restaurants, wherever you are. And that's just the best way to experience our culture, through food. Yeah. If a Filipino family invites you for a meal, for sure you're part of the family now, just because you shared a meal with them.
Yeah, thank you.
That's great. Thank you so much, Gillian.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
And just as a reminder to you all, the next All Nations event will take place on Friday at 2 p.m. So I hope you'll tune into that as well. Hope you all have a great rest of your day or night or wherever you're located in the world.
Thanks, Gillian. Thanks, Laura.
Yeah, thanks, Gillian.
Thanks for coming.
All right. God bless.
Thanks, Laura. Thank you, Gillian. I'm going to eat some of the adobo right now.
Yeah.
You're going to make all of us really jealous that you're getting to eat that right now.
You should make one.
I'll try that.
You should participate next year. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.